I would like to know what your initial approach is to golf design when you see the lay of the land for the first time.
Well, I always get asked that. What do you look for? We look for where the sun is. You don't want to be playing into the sun. So anytime you can get the last evening holes, the last 4 holes with the sun behind you, that's going to make a better golf course. So we tried to do the routing so we had the sun and then you have the wind. Any wind factors you want to do with the wind helping you on the finish. And then here there was no uphill and downhill. It was all dead flat. So we didn't have any problems with the elevations. And the trees were all here, so we just had to cut our little paths through the trees to find the holes. And the routing is the skeleton of the basis of a golf course. If you've got a good routing, it's going to be a good golf course. You can improve, you can start with a certain strategy, you can always add and improve that, but you can't change the routing. So basically, the routing here is brilliant, and real proud of that. There was some originally laid out here, and I just adjusted that slightly to the sun and the wind, and the results of the routing. It's basic and it works, and we just added, and I was keen on putting strategy in it. Where we bunker, how big we make the greens, how much undulation you put in the greens, and the rest of it is just letting it get built, and then now we've had 5 years, it's maturing. It's maturing nicely. And we've got, if we can make the course more presentable by manicuring, it's going to be wonderful.
So the routing of the course sort of it presents it its own way, or do you have to?
No, you had to find it. You know, you just had 100% of almost the same. But where you root it, and then you have the length of holes, but to throw the 5 pars and the 3 pars. So that they're all in different directions. You don't, because you try to get the different directions on especially the 3 pars. 5 pars, you try to alter them, but here we get the 5 pars in a couple places finishing almost in the same direction, but one's got water and big water. But we have quite a bit of water now in the finish. The water is a big feature on the finish. So I think I can't brag. It's one of the best sets of greens I've ever seen. The green jobs there are really good. I just came out there. I had time to do it. I spent a lot of time on the greens contouring, and had a good shaper, and were able to get what we wanted on the greens. Some really nice greens.
So overall, what kind of course did it turn out to be?
Well, it's tough. It's a very demanding golf course. I mean, what we've got is a real challenge for good players. Now, the average guy, we got to be careful to make sure he can get around this golf course and still enjoy it. Now, he should not play it from the back tees, and he shouldn't play it. Maybe somewhere in the middle. We got 4 or 5 tees on every hole. He's got to be playing forward, the average player, because it's a very demanding golf course. As compared to some open pasture type golf courses, this is just the opposite. You get almost in target golf all the way through. You're going to hit it from here to here in the target. And from that target, you do that. Now you get this target to hit it to the green. It's pretty, I find it a very tough golf course for me. And at one point in my life, I had a single figure handicap. I'm playing off about 17 now, and I'd be playing way up on the tees now, so that I would be hitting a reasonable shot for the next shot. So it's, because it's so tough, it's very strategic. Average golfer doesn't play that much to be able to think of his way around the golf course. He just comes out for a day of fun. You got to come out here, and if you want to play this golf course, you got to think about your way around.
We also need to be able to hit the shots. And there are quite a few demanding shots.
Yeah.
Par threes over water.
Yeah.
There are some par fives you have to hit over water.
Yeah.
And you have the contours and the greens, which are quite demanding and quite slopey.
Yeah. There's a lot of undulations in the greens, and so just like I was saying, it's a tough golf course.
From what I hear, people find it very demanding.
Yeah.
So
we want them to know it's demanding, but we don't want to take away the enjoyment of playing it. And that's the key, is to move them up to the forward tees, play it forward, and we're all trying to get the average guy to do that. He pays the green fee. Oh, I'll get my money's worth to go to the back tee. That's completely wrong here. Might work somewhere else, but it will not work here. He will not be happy when he comes off the golf course playing the back tees. It's too tough.
But then again, a lot of the golfing population plays the game running the ball more than flying it to the green, so they would have issues here, wouldn't they?
Oh, and where the water carriers are, yes, but the other water entrances, the greens are fairly, you get there. Although number 2 has got a boards and water in front of it. You're right.
But what I'm trying to get at is that some people believe that tough courses, forced carries, slopey greens, and a lot of water hazards is one of the main problems with pace of play and the declining member figure in total golf. How's your take on that?
I think we, in the last 10 years of the boom in golf construction, we did get too tough. We did too demanding. Because as we were increasing the number of golf courses, increasing the number of players, we made it so tough that we kind of hurt the market. We kind of hurt the golfers. But you can't, at that point, they were just trying to outdo each other. All the designers were trying to find out what Fazio's doing, find out what Pete Dye's doing, find out what Nicklaus doing. So we got to do more than that, you know. So Greg Norman, all those marquee type designers were trying to outdo each other. I did early days. I was partners with Gary Player, and we were trying to always think of the average guy. And Gary played a lot of pro-ams, so he'd tell me what the amateur were doing. You know, be careful what you're doing here. Remember the amateur. So I think you'll see on the golf course that you see this Volvo match play, there's a lot of friendly stuff there for the. I am guilty, like everybody else, where these par threes are tough, but I also have the shortest par three. Probably I get away with some of the forced carries on the water, but the hole at number 4, it's a tiny par three, you know. So that's why I really went busy with that green too. Anyway, I'll say I am guilty of making it tough, but
this course you feel is
it's not unfair. Okay, maybe I'll get out of the box with that one, but it is. I haven't played that much here. I played it a few times, but now I haven't seen it in 2 years. I got here and I said, boy, this is one hell of a test of golf. Whoa, it's tough.
If you could change anything about the layout, just right here and now, would you do it, and where?
I will never make any changes. I will make improvements. Because I always use the word improvements. Because if I came in and said I changed that and I changed that, and if the members start talking about, well, Ron changed that and the owners changed this, and then they say, well, I liked it before they changed it. So always use the word improvements. So I have just improved a couple holes on paper today. I'm going to give him a little bit more landing area on the third hole, going to the green. And maybe I'll have some more improvements before I leave tomorrow night. So those improvements, so I would not change anything. I will improve what I did before, okay?
Good, but so minor changes.
Improvements.
Minor improvements, sorry about that.
Forget the word change. It won't be coming in my conversation.
It's something Obama brought into our minds, I think.
Yeah.
What should you take special notice of playing this course? Any features or? What did you put? You said you put extra
effort on the greens. Yeah. Because you got a very same terrain. There's a lot of sameness out there, and no matter how you turn a hole and play, you're coming back with the 8th hole and then 12th hole coming in the same direction. Whoops, you know, you get dog leg, maybe bend a little bit down. Can I turn the dog leg left here? Well, you can do a little bit of that, but you can change the green. I mean, I got like 500 square meters. I get in there, I can do this with that, and I can do that one. It's completely different. So there was the effort was put on the features of the greens. And the bunkers are the same type of bunker, but it's where you put it. So I have a nickname of cross bunkering. I like cross bunkering. And that's pretty good. You put a bunker on you cross bunker a fairway with an angle, so you give the weaker player, he can play over the shorter bunker. The better player plays over the longer bunker, and the guy so you give some reward when you cross bunker on angles. You don't want to do a barrier, so everybody has to hit it. So you give a guy a choice of going one or playing into a little landing area. So there's some strategy in the bunkering, but the big effort was on the greens. To do something different every green.
Do you have a favorite hole or a few favorite holes out here?
Some of my favorite holes are on that short course. There's some really nice holes out there in a little city course. And there you can bump and run. You want to play bump and run? Go over there and play bump and run all you want. Probably well, I would just say the last from 14 in, it's really classic. You play 14 has just got a great visibility. Then 15, 16, 17, 18, that's a great finish.
What's special about it?
Vistas, it looks good. You get elevation on the tees from the old road. You get the use of the lakes, and that great 18th hole is just a great hole coming back there. And we have you've got to get better presentation for visibility, but when we get more visibility at 18, you can see it's a great hole. Good finish.
The course opened in 2010, and there have been some issues with maintenance. How do you feel the course has settled now?
I think we're on a very good track right now. Anders is a hard worker, and he has it kind of in his he's grown it. Well, like one time I was the greenkeeper, and I know what it's like. You just 24 hours a day, you've got to worry, you've got to be involved in thinking, and certain people have that mentality to assume that responsibility 24 hours a day and be thinking all the time about the golf course. He's married, he's got a kid now. When we get greenkeepers like him, that just live and breathe that whole golf course, and they want to make it better. And so we're very lucky to have a guy like him. And not only he's got some skill because he's a player, but he's just got the drive and ambition to make this golf course. He's feeling the golf course like I feel. He wants to try to make it better every minute, and the owners, Morton and Paul, are happy with him, and they're lucky to have a guy like that. And he'll bring it out. He'll get us a better golf course every day. And it's a question of trying to manicure and present the best golf course you can. And it's if we get the pass system completed, that'll help him with the manicuring. And he understands the grasses now, and so we did have some weak times with maintenance, and that's unfortunate because the two other guys, I knew early days on we were a little worried, but I was hoping the other guy would catch on, but he didn't. So we're lucky right now. We're just ride with this, hope for the continuing. It's getting better. He's been here a year, I think, not quite a year. So,
all right, onwards to Glen Eagles. Let's talk a bit about that. You did some work on the centenary course.
Yeah.
Where they just hosted.
Yeah, actually, they hired Nicholas Design or Jack Signature. They wanted to Jack Nicklaus signature course up there. There were 4 golf courses. The Kings and Queens, they had the Princess was the short course, and the Glendevon. The Glendevon was the last golf course built there in probably the 60s or something. Nobody liked the Glendevon. If you stayed in a hotel and you had a golf package that included 3 rounds of golf, you couldn't play the 3 rounds on the Kings and Queens. You had to play 1 round, you had to play on the Glendevon. So if you had a 2-day package, 1 day you had to play the Glendevon. That's kind of mean, because the Kings and Queens are just beautiful, beautiful golf courses. I mean, classic old Colt braid. They were braid designed. And anyway, they hired Jack, and they said, we need a tournament golf course. We have Johnny Walker, we have the Scottish Open, but we don't have, it's not real, the Kings and Queens are kind of short, and it's kind of tough for the gallery to get around, and blah, blah, blah. Got the assignment. So we took away the Glendevon and the Princess. They gave us that land, and they gave us some other areas that we could work on. So by going from four golf courses to 3, they're now the Kings, Queens, and the Centenary. At one time they called the Monarchs. There was a contest to name it, and some young boy could come up with the Monarchs. And now they've changed it to Centenary. And it's a spectator golf course. You could look at all the spectators they put in there. The 50,000 people every day watching 4 matches. But they had this, it was built for spectators. There's a cart pad, there's a path for all the spectators to get around. There's 2 tunnels. You have to go through 2 tunnels to play the golf course underneath the road. It's a small entrance road, but actually the tunnels worked. But I was involved in that for 4 years. It was fun, and I got to meet all the Scottish people and all the people up there at Glen Eagles. It was fun, and I think that Jack did have to go back and make some improvements on the routing. They changed 12 to a 4, and we had 12 as a 5, and 14 as a 3. They made 14.
The 18th green got a bit of...
18th green got fantastic what they did at 18 green. There was kind of a little nose of a hill. It wasn't a dune there. It was you played like a dune, the old green, and we tucked the green behind the dune in the first go around. And we liked that. We thought that was good, but it was fantastic what they did with the improvements there. They moved the green to the right, and they did that big grass hollow work, and there's some tricks when you do that. And I've learned how he did that, and I'm going to use that on my next green that has a grass hollow left. But when you come out of that grass hollow, you don't go flat. You make the ball, you go run away, you can run away. And I got one, I'm gonna run it, because I'm doing some work at Dromoland in Ireland. And I'm gonna do that grass hollow, and you come out of that, and I'm gonna run it, and I'm gonna have a water course, gonna have a cascade on the other side, I'm gonna run it in the water. I can't wait to talk to Jack and how good that came out, you know.
So how did you think it fared in terms of producing drama in this competition?
Oh, certainly did. You know, the few that did get to that 18th green, it was the drama, you know, because a great player like Kuchar, I mean, great player. That got him. He chili dipped in front of. He's got to get it up there and not run away, but he, oops, he chili dipped it. Then Furyk had to get it close. But yeah, that was one improvement they made, and then the other improvement, when you take a par 3 and stretch it to make it a drivable par 4, you're shooting at a par 3 greens, and then it's just kind of like an add-on strategy. I don't know if that worked. I've got a couple, at the Old Head, people tell me the 15th hole is their favorite hole. Yeah, it's a par 4 you can drive. It's downwind, downhill, and you know, you get the chance, you're up there putting for an eagle. How many times did the average guy putt for an eagle? So that's, when you can get a par 4 you can drive, you should probably do it. Get it. But I wonder if 14 is that good as a drivable par 4. I always wondered about that at Glen Eagles. But that was a 3-par stretched. Wasn't designed as a par 4, did you get around? Because it's, actually that could be a little bit uphill from where I remember. Anyway. But I thought the golf course presented itself well. It was good for the gallery. It was great for Scotland.
Mr. Kirby, if you were to choose one golf course of yours to play, which one would you recommend?
Of mine? Because if I could play one golf course, probably it'd be Augusta National, but...
I'm talking your design.
My designs, I play the Old Head, yeah, the Old Head, yeah. I've been improving on that every year since, I've been involved in the thing almost 15 years. And we're still improving on it. But I like it, but that's all the way to Ireland, and I live in Florida. I can enjoy I've never had a round of golf I didn't enjoy. But as bad as I play now, but it's a great game, fun. My dad was a golf professional, and brother and I played, and all my family plays. Sally plays, my wife plays, my grandson plays. So it really doesn't matter where you play, but I would, if you say, where would I take a choice? I'd play the Old Head every day. It's fun. But this would, here, I'd probably play this once a month. It'd be enough. I'd be wore. It would just beat me to death, and then I said, I don't want to go back there. But maybe like, I would probably play one back from the ladies' tees, with where I teed up now. At my age, and with a 17 handicap, I could probably handle that from about nothing farther back than just back of the ladies' tees.